talked to him. He was in Dubai. He was to come back, and I have sent a message to him, but he has not responded. After
You're
he
talking
came
of
back,
Javed Akhtar.
I'm talking about Javed Akhtar. So
Yes.
for those of you who don't know him, Javed Akhtar is a well-known lyricist, and in a way, he's activist, and he has been talking against fundamentalism of all types. And he has been promoting the idea of the India which does not discriminate on the basis of religion. So we call that as secular. So that is what he has been promoting, and he speaks very well. So he looked interested when I spoke to him, but I don't know. He was very keen to know who are the people behind this. So I told him, you're journalists and human rights lawyers and people like me who are retired academicians and so on. So that seemed to be one cause of concern for him. Who are the people? I said, we are all humanists. Then I spoke to the Rajya Sabha MP, Kumar Ketkar. He represents Maharashtra on behalf of Congress. And he has been, he has been advocating the cause of Gandhian non-violence, and he's against all kinds of fundamentalism. And he was a very well-respected editor of two Marathi dailies, two very influential Marathi dailies, that is Lok Satta and Maharashtra Times. And which points you have sent some message, so let me read that message. Yeah, this message, you want me to talk about speakers or you want me to talk about something else?
Whatever because you have been doing a lot of work, so it's good for everybody to know what's happening.
So Kumar Ketkar has agreed, though 3rd April, the Parliament is in session, but he said if it is an online event, I can participate. I have also approached Mahua Moitra, but she has not responded. She is an MP from Trinamool Congress and very vocal in the Lok Sabha, but I think today. Then our humanist members, Irshad has agreed to speak from Pakistan, and Tulsi has agreed to speak from Nepal. I was supposed to get some contacts in Bangladesh. I get that I will approach them also. And then I have approached Sherwin David of Sri Lanka, but I have not got a very clear yes from him. But it looks like that he will also on behalf of Sri Lanka. And I have approached a Singapore University professor who is also very well respected, Kanti Bajpai. So I sent a mail to him, and similarly, another person in Colombo University, I have approached him as well. So then I have requested a very well-known person who writes for the Gulf newspapers. He is a retired corporate, takes very great interest in international affairs. So I have requested him to speak on what we can learn from the European Union in the cause of Asian Peace Union or Asian Union. And I have requested Ajit Menon, our very veteran member, humanist member, to speak on what a peace is. But he has not given any clear answer as yet. Now, I was thinking that we can divide this, we can allot certain themes to the speakers, And what I had in mind was we can talk about the experience of European Union. We can talk about, a comparative study of how much the Asian countries are spending on arms and armaments, how much they are spending on healthcare and education. If somebody can talk on that. Then we have also the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SARC, and we have the experience of SARC. So somebody can talk about that experience. And what is the scenario in Asia at the moment? What are the conflict zones in Asia, and where we can bring peace? So somebody can take an overview of the current scenario in Asia. So this is what I was thinking. And of course, we need to get speakers from other countries as well, like Malaysia, Indonesia, and if possible, Japan. So I don't have any contacts right now in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Japan. So we will have to find out. So in all, I was thinking that the conference should be there for about 3 hours. We can take a break after maybe 1.5 hours, a 10-minute break, and then another 1.5 hours. And at the end of the conference, we should resolution an Asian Union, Asian People's Union. Whether the governments will have to join it later on, but let the people take initiative and form an Asian People's Union, and we'll persuade the governments to join it. So this is what I was thinking. And of course, Kumar Ketkar will, if Javed Akhtar doesn't come, then Kumar Ketkar will deliver the keynote speech. I will brief him about what is our thinking. So this is what I wanted to share with them. And the key to this, people from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Japan, Singapore, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, if they can join, of course, Koreas are also included. If they can join, then it will be a great success. So we need participation from outside Southeast Asia as well. And it is somewhat ambitious, but I think we need to be ambitious in current times, and we have to have an astounding vision. So that's what last Sunday we thought of, Lakshmanan, Sudhir Bhai, and myself, that we should straight away appeal for an Asian People's Union. However astounding it might sound, or audacious, I would say audacious would be the correct word.
Yeah. Ashutosh, regarding our ambitions, I would like to say only one thing. Our ambitions are very, very modest, very small. We are talking of peace in Asia only for the time being.
No, we are talking about peace in the world.
No, for the time being only.
Through Asian Union.
This event is for Asia.
Peace cannot be divided into Asia.
I know. You didn't get the point.
Yeah.
Ashutosh, I think 3-hour conference is very long. Online conference is very long. So 2 hours, we can reduce it to 2 hours. And one keynote person, that is MP, and from different countries, 5 to 10 minutes. We can give them 5 to 10 minutes to describe their countries and how they can join in this platform. So 10 let me what we can say, 10 to 12 people will talk in that session. If it is very too much people, then people are very bored. This is my opinion.
And if you give too little time to everybody, then it's meaningless.
also.
I think every speaker should be given between 5 to 7 minutes to talk, because then with some hello Pradeepan, with some hello gap and somebody going a little over, because if you say 5, some will go to 7, 8 or 10 minutes also, and you will be able to accommodate maybe about 8 speakers in 1 hour. You will have 6 speakers from the movement organisms and the message. You will have 3 or 4 speakers from outside and some conclusion, some introduction. So that's approximately 10 to 12 speakers. And if you say 10 minutes each, you're talking of 2 hours already, which is quite long. This is a predicament that we have to resolve. For Dr. Tamboli and Pradeepan who have joined late, I have repeated on the chat the basic points that we are trying to decide today. So what do you say about that, Ashutosh?
Dr. Tamboli is also one of the speakers. He has confirmed his participation and
Great.
speaking. He is going to speak.
So we have to go on putting the name of the speaker and the topic that they will
Right.
talk, because we'll have to stitch together the whole event, no? Proper flow from one topic to another and connecting them.
I see.
Also, we have to sort of give them the topic to speak on, because it is
Oh,
not
I
that
see.
people will come just and talk anything.
I see.
I don't think we are going to have a free for all event for anybody to come and talk anything. We want to achieve a result from this event. So what is our target result for the event? What do we want to achieve from this? Give me a moment, please.
Our target is the formation of Asian Peace Forum. It is the People's Union. We are forming such a form like a European Union. That is the aim of this conference.
That's right.
And
that's right.
yeah.
So that we bring all conflicts. We cannot end the conflicts, but we can find a peaceful way of resolving the conflict.
Yes, making
so that
people's
we
pressure.
bring peace and we bring development to Asia.
Correct. And second thing, strengthen humanist activities in Asian countries. Any other thing? Anybody can join.
Yeah, people are putting their remarks on the chat, so it will take some time to go through the chat and then respond. So I have to read the points which are mentioned in the chat.
I will give my points. I'll give my points in 30 seconds. I am saying 3 hours is far too long. I would say 2 hours plus, maybe 2 hours 15 minutes or 2 hours 30 minutes. I don't think more than keynote address plus 5 speakers. Otherwise, it will be too frittered away. At least 10 minutes we must give a speaker. Otherwise, what is he going to say? If we are going to have 5 minutes per speaker, there is no build-up, there is no end. I just come and go blah, blah, blah. So I believe 10 minutes is the minimum you should give each speaker. I don't think we should have more than 5. And the keynote person should have whatever, 30 minutes if you so wish, if it's a good speaker. That's what
that's a relevant point, very relevant point.
Because 5 into 10 will become 50. So let's say an hour. the keynote will be, let's say, 30
20.
minutes. 20, okay.
Yeah.
And then the remaining time there will
Some
be
questions or something, because
Yes,
people also want to
yes.
participate.
So we don't have to make it very tight also.
Exactly, yeah.
Also, we should have, as Antonio said, we should have some question answer interaction sections where
Absolutely.
people like to be part of it, and then there is a sense of belonging. You know, I went there, I heard something, I didn't understand part of it, and it's over. But I went there, I didn't understand, but I asked questions and I got answered. So it's my involvement. You know, then there is a future.
So, Sudhir, one of my observations of these large gatherings, whether online or in person, is that Indians don't ask questions. They give comments. So and so was right, that one was wrong, etc., etc. If it's not a question, I don't think it should be taken on at all. Specifically, a question.
I agree to that. And when people start giving a lecture, we should interrupt them and tell them,
Absolutely.
we are sorry, please ask your question.
Yeah.
And put your comments in the chat.
So personally, I agree with what Meru has said about the duration and the speakers. But I think in the end, we should pass a resolution for creating this union, which means that, you know, we will have to initially prepare the groundwork for what is the vision of this union, what is the mission of this union, and in what is the roadmap, how do we want to proceed after this conference, how do we want to actually work in the union. So some document will have to be prepared beforehand. So I think that is what Deepak ji is saying, that we don't want lecturing, but we want an action plan. But at the same time, action is aimed at some objective and purpose. So we will have to discuss and debate the purpose as well and the way of working of this union. So some amount of lecturing is required based on what is the experience elsewhere. So I think we have to learn from their experience and move ahead. So, but I take his point that ultimately it has to result in an action plan.
That is what,
I think
I had
Deepak ji
put
is
into the
insisting.
point of the target result that we want to achieve. So maybe Deepak can give us a little bit of explanation of what he is telling and how we can format it. I think this is the most important point to be discussed as to what do we want to achieve out of it. The event should not end in itself. It should be a beginning of something. Beginning of something in which more people than we are involved now get involved.
Yeah, so I think to my mind, it will be a way of bringing together more regional cooperation and more conflict resolution mechanisms and more participation of countries in Asia. So participation, cooperation, regional cooperation, and conflict resolution. Those three things we should be achieved by this union. That is what I have in mind. But others are most welcome to contribute.
Hello, Chandrababu, you are welcome. Deepak, can you explain more your points on the action front to be taken?
Sorry, to be very honest, I am a very low profile person. I don't know much about action and everything. I know only this much, that there are so many organizations in the name of a regional meet or a continental meet or a Asian meet or a global meet, whatever it is. And out of that, we have United Nations also. Better, we need people to act on a long term without entertaining any so-called or any celebrity to guide us. We are already enlightened and we have to act, I think. And without action, we will not have any path very clear to go ahead. Otherwise, we will be just planning to form an organization and new building. I don't think it will bring any result. It is better to act globally instead of forming any local or continental association and trying to form some organization and then coordinating.
No, let's come
local.
to action, Deepak.
Now
You are
the
very right. I
action
mean,
is, let's start country-wise protests against the country who goes for a war.
I mean,
There are
100.3%.
embassies in all the capitals.
Yeah.
We should form a group where we should go for action to protest
We
in
should
front of
demand
the
action,
embassies
yes.
in all capitals.
So what action?
Because
What
only
action?
talking is only goody talk. We have been talking in many
No,
webinars.
Deepak, I'm
and
sorry to
seminars.
interrupt you. Deepak, I'm sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
No, I
You
just
are
spoke only
exactly on
because
the
you
point. You
initiated.
are right. So let
Yeah.
us suggest the action.
Action is, let us start protesting in front of the embassies of the countries who go for a
Yeah,
war.
but demanding what? Demanding what? Let us put
Demanding
those
no
demands
war,
in clear.
no
End the war, no?
war. Go by resolution or go by talks and
So we can
no
say,
use of any weapons.
so we can say that
We
no,
must boycott all the embassies from our country at least.
yeah. So we can say no
And this
to
is the
any
best way
war,
out to act instead of talking.
no
I
to
will be the
war,
first
open the
volunteer to
borders,
join it.
no
No,
to
that
war,
will be a
open
too
the
big a
borders.
task, but at least we can definitely pressurize, say, right now in Delhi, we can pressurize the Russian embassy to go for a lockdown. Nobody can stop us.
We
Nobody
also
can
have
stop.
to pressurize
Same way,
Indian
all the
government
humanist
to
members can
open
do
the
the same
borders
thing
with Pakistan.
globally in all the countries. That's
Yeah.
what Russian embassies. They should not be allowed to be in our country.
Exactly.
The same thing should be done in all the nations. Humanist organization is spread world over. Why to limit our activities to the continent or a country only? We are very well established organization. We
Yes.
need to act. This is my feeling. I am not jumping in.
No, I
activity
agree with you,
to encourage
Deepak. Let's
anybody.
have comments from others
I will be
on
the
this.
first person to volunteer myself unconditionally.
I am with you, Deepak. You're not
Yeah,
alone.
I'm with all of you positively.
I don't know where protests would lead us. I know that I'm not capable of sitting in a place and shouting, and that's not my style.
We need not shout for that.
I don't know what a protest means.
Yeah. That we'll learn.
We have to think well how we can blend together these fantastic initiatives, because I can perceive the feeling in each one of us for getting things done or making things change or getting the right voices heard. But that doesn't seem to be simple in today's world that is so complex, and there are so barriers and counter barriers, and it's like shouting in the air, no? I cannot, when there is a bit of wind, I cannot even hear the bells from the church that is 300 meters away because the wind takes it. And will happen the same thing with us. Our energy and everything else will disappear. And that's why we have started this project of the Asian Forum, and after that a World Forum, because that's a platform that can help, join the voices of all humanists and all the people who feel along these lines as one voice. And we all together can give it a projection that covers not only the issues of war and peace, that is one of the big topics of the forum, but the issues of violence, the issues of poverty, the issues of deprivation, the issues of the environment, all the major issues of our times. Because if we put all our energy into one, and then what about all the others? They will tell, well, look, the war is happening because of the imbalances in the environment, or because there is so much poverty, or because of whatever. And they are all valid. So really, I don't have absolutely clear what specific actions we can develop. Maybe, as you said, we can go for punctual actions that we know beforehand that will not change anything in absolute terms, but they can be visual, and people will start to identify and to recognize us. But nothing much will happen. And also not everybody will be like to participate, like Meru was saying, because it's not her type of action. She feels that she can be more effective doing something else. If you have lots of PhDs and professors, holding a banner in an embassy, they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, that is thinking and guiding people and formers of opinion and writing columns in papers and going into television shows. Standing with a banner may give some illusion that we are doing something effective, but it's not effective. We cannot fool ourselves. So this requires more thinking and reflection. Perhaps if we went supporting all together some specific actions, yeah, in the end, we will have a greater impact. But a mechanism like the forum can guarantee that once it is established in all the continents, from there we can broadcast a vision that is fully encompassing. And that type of entity will have the possibility of getting it heard at a global level. And if we say the war needs to be stopped, people will have to listen, because the arguments, the numbers, the countries will be sufficient, like to call the attention of the general public. And I think a lot we have to go in media, in the media of our days. We have to prepare things, we have to film them and put them in YouTube, put them here, putting there. All the speeches of this meeting that we are planning should be carefully recorded. And if they are not made in English in the first place, they should be dubbed in English, so we can spread them all over the place. And that will have a huge effect, because instead of being the people participating in the Zoom meeting, maybe thousands of people will listen, will learn. So we have to think about aspects of that sort, I think. I stop here because I'm taking too much time.
Good.
One of the things that we are trying to achieve through the Asian Union is it is a people's initiative, and people have to raise their voice so that the governments really become amenable to people's pressure. Right now, I see in many discussions, people holding a view that the government is all powerful and we are nothing. And we may do anything, but government will not listen. So they think that the government is some kind of a force which we cannot shake. But that is not the case. So we have to change this perception of the people, that ultimately the government has been given power by us. And we have to take power back into the hands of people. And so this Asian Union is actually a people's union. It is not the union of government organizations or any big bodies, as Deepak was rightly pointing out. This is going to be a people's union. And if we look at the beginning of European Union, that was also started by the two individuals who came together, French and German, and I said that we are unnecessarily fighting about coal and steel and something like that. And initially they proposed this idea of European Coal and Steel Union or something. So it is, and then the government started listening to them. It is not that the government thought of a union, it is the people who thought of the union and in a way forced the government. So this is exactly, I think, what we have to do. And in that is the real democracy that we have been talking about as humanists. So I think we have to, our main aim is to make sure that people realize that they have the power to make the governments listen to them and reduce military ways of solving conflicts, and thereby reduce the military expenditure and divert those resources towards more meaningful healthcare, education, and other activities. So I think this is what we have to stress. And this is what I have in mind.
Hello, Asutosh ji. Yogendra here.
बताइए.
May I? Yes. My observation was on the nomenclature, that is Asian Union, like it gives the synonymity with the European Union. And basically, if you look at the European Union, it is a union of countries, not of the union of the people. So my suggestion was to have Asian Forum for Peace, because that gives a that gives a better reflection of the people's activity.
Yes, Yogendra, you have a good idea, but we already have World Humanist Forum Asia for that. So no point having two things doing the same thing.
No, World Humanist Forum is there, but
No, World Humanist Forum Asia. We are not World Humanist
yes,
Forum.
yes,
We
World
are World
Humanist Forum
Humanist
Asia is also
Forum
there,
Asia.
but instead of union, my suggestion is that we should have the forum,
Yeah, so
World
we
Forum.
already have the
That
forum.
is
That's what I'm
Asian
saying.
Forum for Peace.
Okay.
Union is for the countries. This is for the
No, you are right, Yogendra.
for
So we
bringing the
already have the
Once again,
forum, and we can say that the World
Yogendra ji,
Humanist
bringing the
Forum
once again,
nations,
Asia is working for
bringing
peace
the
in Asia.
nations together for reflecting that we are a separate entity in the world. But
Yogendra ji,
what we want to achieve is universal human nation. So we want to eliminate these entities already. Sir.
Point taken.
once again, you see the assumption that we make that countries are different from people. That is the assumption we are making. I am saying that governments have to reflect people's mandate, people's views, and people's aspirations. And right now, governments have become impervious to people's aspirations. That's why we are saying it is an Asian People's Union. And forum is where people will come and present their views. But
Exactly.
in Asian People's Union, we want to actually take concrete action. So one of them can be protest, as Deepak ji was saying, one of them can be protest. But we want to go beyond protest.
So I would like to put these few interesting thoughts like this. What if we come with a charter of demands on what we expect the governments to do and what we want the people to do? That is, government we know will not do anything right now. We'll have to create a good, strong pressure for that. But we have to, if we can make this an idea that strikes people's hearts, then the pressure can start rising. Nothing will happen in 2 days, but you never know. You never know. And if the idea strikes people's hearts, that is what we can try to achieve, that's what we want. So for example, if we say that all Asian countries should immediately sign an agreement of no war with anyone, open borders, open business, things like this, if we can put, which are drastic but creative, which should sort of embolden people that look, this can happen. And there we can say that if we can have, if Europe can have a European nation, so at least France is not fighting with Germany and Belgium and this and that, at least they are not having wars with each other. They may have economic tensions or whatever, but they don't have war. So one thing has been eliminated. And with that elimination, automatically the arms budgets will go down. So instead of first saying reduce the arms budget, if we talk of the conditions which attract people, then people will join the forum. As Antonio says, that this forum is not for one issue. We should ideally reach a position as a forum of taking and including one issue every week, or maybe 2 issues every week, take a stand and give out those stands, and then the organizations start joining. And we have, let's say a team of 5 people from the forum looking after issue A, another 5 looking after issue B, issue C, so that after some time we reach a point where we have a big event of the forum, organization, hundreds of organizations coming together on different issues and giving their views. That is what will build a sample of what consciousness, what thinking should be, and reaching out to people. So today we have one issue. My thinking right now is that if we can conclude this into a charter of demand, and we say let the organizations come forward, join this and take it forward, and we give them their space. We don't say we are the leaders, no, we are the catalyst, and we behave like a catalyst. We give space to everybody and they take it forward. And I think Deepak, Yogender, Pradipan are the people who are very well placed to take forward this peace issue in a very strong way, because they are working sort of completely on this. But here we sort of give a shape and let things move, and give a drastic idea. Whether they go and protest against embassy or they do something else, we keep that open for different organizations to do different things. No, like let the 1,000 flowers bloom. but we give a proposal that this is what we propose. And that should be very, very creative, very dynamic, touching the hearts that, oh, this is what we want.
And we support the initiatives that are taking place at the moment from everywhere.
Exactly.
I am happy to prepare a note and get it published in Presenza, specific about the protest, for example, in Delhi, and what people are expressing and copying the statements and everything. So in that way, really, we make a thing that we are doing in one place much bigger.
Exactly.
That applies to all the issues, I think.
Exactly.
Excellent initiative.
In future, we can conduct a Asian march also, like
Yes,
world
why
march.
not?
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, surely.
Lakshmanan, ideally what will happen is, let's say Deepak decides to start a march. He talks to Pradeepan, he talks to Yogender, and they start a march. And let's say out of 1,000 organizations who are with us, 300 join them, doesn't matter. And there's another group who says we will sit in front of the embassy for 30 days. Okay, they do that. So let there be many activities instead of one activity. Let us propose a framework of the demands, which should be very, very extremist kind of, idealist. Idealist is the right word. Very idealist, and something that touches people. Yes, we want this. And with that, people should automatically realize that if this happens, the defense budget will not be needed. And if defense budget is not needed, more money can be there for health, for housing, and blah, 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 all that. No? Instead of saying reduce budget, they will say, Pakistan is fighting you, they are sending missiles, and China is fighting you, why you want to? So the discussion is gone. The discussion is lost. So let's not allow the discussion to be lost. Let's say we want peace. So for example, as Professor Mathai suggested, there should be a ministry of peace. So we could say, let every country appoint a minister of peace today, and let these ministers be in a permanent meeting, which should be completely televised all the time on the web. It should be live streamed on YouTube and Facebook. We should hear what they are talking. We don't want anything beyond the curtains, because they are very well our servants. We have elected them and we are paying them to do the job. So we want to hear what are they talking about.
Absolutely right.
So if we were to say that let all the Asian countries have a minister of peace, and let them start a permanent meeting from tomorrow, and this meeting be televised live on TV and YouTube and Facebook and whatnot, and we want to hear, and every day we will conclude what they are talking, and we will tell them what to talk tomorrow. This can, things like this. Maybe
it's great that coming from India, all the world would pay attention and respect a minister of peace for the first time in India, because connects with Gandhi and connects with that tradition of independence. It's a fantastic possibility. No?
And we could say that a government which cannot bring peace has no right to remain there.
That's right.
Yes.
Finished.
Absolutely right.
Finished. A government that cannot bring peace has no right. No, things like this, if we can say, people will wake up. No, we have to bang the heads very strongly without physically banging, They should wake up. Oh, I was missing this. Why not? Why not? We can have a minister of sports. Why not a minister of peace? Why not?
Pradeepan, can you share your ideas?
Yes, the man of WWW.
Yeah. Actually, we formed our this Asian forum. Like we are going to form such a forum like a European Union or anything, because this the background is the issue is the war. And we are aiming for another bigger guy. But the present issue is in front of us is the war. So my opinion is at least we are going to form a Asian forum like European Union or Asian Union, like People's Union. So in this context, so why don't we can jointly or protest or something in a capital of in Asian countries with the putting the one banner and opening and publicly open one computer and something, and we straight away to generally induce the people to write their protest against the Russian countries in wherever in the world. So this is also in that way we can induce the people participation in this campaign. This is, I think, it is at least we can do it. Kathmandu, Delhi, the capital of Pakistan, or Dhaka, or some. It is we can do. It is simply we can do it just now. This is that we can jointly decide from here to do such an action. So it is another kind of both things, the publicity as well as a real protest, and we can participate our common people in this campaign. At least we can fix the day and a place, and we can do this. This is in the name of our Asian Union, or whatever we put the name. This is the first action, because we can do this way. We can begin our action. I hope so. And this
Pradeepan,
is the one.
Pradeepan, sorry to interrupt you. You are very right. There is no doubt. But we are talking of two things. One is the action, and one is the charter of demands.
Yeah.
So if we can put the
let's-
charter of demand together, and then follow with that with the action, I think that may be more organized way.
No,
of
no.
working.
Let me complete, Sudhir. I am 100% agree with you, because this is because we are the bigger. We are doing with the bigger way, because we are going to satisfy the aspiration of the Asian people. So we must chart out the demands, or charter of demands. That is clear. But at the same time, because we are all these we are doing inside a meeting, inside thing. Okay, so it is a simple action along with this. That is my not appeal, it's a request.
No, point taken. Point taken. That's very important. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Because in Kerala we are doing many small marches, small peace meeting in the banner of One Without War, and it is the major newspapers are covered the thing, because this is a two-way. One is in the way the organization is working for the heart of the people. They feel some organization is really working for against the violence and against the war, so they feel so.
No, that's
And
that's a clear point, Pradeepan. I mean, it's okay. It's very clear what you're saying. That's point taken. We need action, and what I was saying is that we need action by bringing many organizations together.
Okay.
So that the action has a strength also, but the action should be backed by a very properly formatted, wide and good framework of demand. This is what we want. Because then, as Antonio says, that if some people cannot go to embassy, but they have media contacts and they can write articles, or they can write very well on social media, there'll be multiple ways to reaching out to people. Finally, any action is meant to demonstrate what we are talking of and reaching out to more people.
No, okay, I agreed. But our prime motive. What is the prime motive? This is the participation of the common people. Yeah. This is the union of common people. So in this way, this is a simple action. We can generally mobilize as a common people to this, because they can come and sit to the computer, and they can show their protest against the war in different embassies.
No, you are repeating the same thing, Pradeepan. I'm sorry to say that. You are very right in what you're saying. You're very right. The point is taken. The point is taken. Perfectly right. We need action on the road. No doubt.
Yeah,
no
Sudhir bhai, but the point is that actions have been taken, but ultimately people's consciousness has to change, and that has to result in pressure.
Ashutosh,
That has to result in pressure to
now you are
bring about a change and transformation.
Ashutosh, you are taking
So-
the other side of the same thing. What I'm trying to tell you, I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt
let
you.
me
What I'm
finish.
trying to
Let
tell
me finish.
you.
No, I want to finish this. I want to
Okay.
finish this with your kind permission.
No, please, there's no permission needed.
Yeah, no, you're talking in the middle. That's why I'm
Sorry.
taking your permission.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
The point is that number of actions have been taken, but the question is, has people's consciousness changed? And if the action does not change the consciousness, then that action has resulted only in our satisfaction. It has not brought about any change on the ground. So action is required. There is no question about it. Action is required at the ground level, at the common people level. There is no question about it. But it must change their consciousness, which means that they must know why we are taking that action, what is the purpose of that action, what is the larger framework of that action. So when we say war, we are talking about physical violence primarily. But when we talk about peace, we are talking about ending violence in all its forms. And that is the change in consciousness that we want to bring about. That's my point.
Ashutosh,
Okay.
That is what I was trying to reach. Thank you.
Can you come to the planning?
Yeah,
Session.
I think we have discussed many things and all those who have presented their ideas are excellent. And now we have to come because we are we have convened this meeting for the April to 3rd April meeting. So we have to really plan what are the points we want to achieve, and the action part is always there. Action part, as already mentioned, anybody can do any action in this line, but also jointly if we can plan something, that will be also very good. But maybe now our focus should be on the April meeting. And first, may I know how many countries we have approached and how many countries we are expecting to participate?
I think we can easily expect India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Australia, and South Korea. There is one person there from Presenza. This is what I can think of.
Can you repeat? Pakistan,
India,
India,
Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka,
okay.
then Philippines, Australia, and South Korea.
This minimum we can guarantee this
More or less,
participation.
yes. More or less, yes.
Yeah, to begin with, I think that is a good participation.
So we want to give invitation to them. So Sudhir will do that, isn't it?
I and Ashutosh are doing that.
Okay.
Ashutosh has already got confirmation from Pakistan and Nepal. Ashutosh, I have sent you Priya's number in Sri Lanka. She will be more freely available than
Sherwin.
Sherwin has a problematic job, so his timings are never sure these days. I've sent you number of 2 people from Bangladesh. Please talk to them. I will talk to Bereket in South Korea, and I will talk to Gemma and Gemma in Philippines. Karina can represent the Presenza, and then we can have our friend from Australia also to be there. These are people we know, so they can be there. Maybe we can make a small team of 2-3 of us to develop this framework point over next couple of days and present it in the in our WhatsApp group and finalize that. So can I invite Antonio, Lakshmanan, and Ashutosh to that, and whoever else wants to join? I mean, these 3 because they are already working on it, but all are welcome, no problem. We just connect over WhatsApp, and we put our ideas together and complete it. Deepak is welcome, Pradeepan is welcome, Dr. Aboli is welcome.
Australia,
I mean, everyone is welcome.
One comment. Sudhir, Australia is not part of Asia.
Yes.
Asia Pacific region is Australia.
Yeah. So we are, when we say Asia, we're talking of Asia Pacific.
Sudhir is a declare.
Oh, yes.
Declare is from Australia.
Yes. There is
So-
Declare and there are others also.
Yeah. So they will participate.
Yes. We don't mind taking over a couple of countries if needed. No? It's a peaceful takeover. Like this.
So another thing, we want to prepare a charter. So
Yes. A framework of demand, no? What we want to, what we propose
framework.
this issue should achieve.
So we can make a 2-3 person. Deepak ji, Ashutosh ji, and Pradeepan.
Meruji would be also ideal.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Okay.
I'm saying everyone. I'm saying everyone is fine. More the merrier. What you can do,
No,
what
it
you
will
can
be a
do,
small group
Ashutosh.
which will present it on the WhatsApp group
Yeah.
of WHF Asia.
Let's do like this. Let's open a Google Doc, which can be edited by all, and we give the rights on the WhatsApp group. Let everybody come and give their ideas, and we put it together over next 2 days and ship it up.
Okay. And we need some advertisement also through Facebook, through social media. We want to.
So once we have this framework ready, we have the invitation for 3rd April ready, then this we can start putting it together. So I was suggesting if we can finalize a draft broad announcement that on 3rd April from this time to this time we will have an event named this. More details follow. So people can start registering themselves.
Yes.
We can open a registration page on Google Drive. I will do that today, and we can start sending that invitation to people to register for it. And then in next 3, 4, 5 days, when we are giving more shape, we have speakers or whatever issues finalized, then we give the next invitation with the same logistics, no, the meeting room and stuff that we can announce now itself.
Okay. And the final thing is the participants.
Yes.
If we conduct such a bigger program, then the participants should be bigger. Otherwise, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have our Zoom hall capacity is 300, and then we will live stream it on YouTube.
So how we can reach that?
Well, we have to get our friends joining us. Let's take it big on the social media. Let's not only depend on whom we know. Let's get unknown people. That's why this framework, the name of the event is very important. Can we in next 5 minutes decide the name of the event? At least the draft name of the event? Can we say, for example, for a peaceful Asia? Or something more drastic, more creative?
Or Asian Peace Conference?
No, you're talking of an event. I'm talking of a concept.
Yeah. Yes, okay.
That this event is for this purpose.
Correct.
Because then for that purpose, we can go on having many things.
Because Russia is Asia as well. Huh?
Russia is also Asia.
And China is also Asia.
Is Asia. So we can call Putin, hey Putin, you're part of us, stop the war.
Yeah, we can say anything we want, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter whether he listens or not. That's his problem.
I say it because we are at the center. We are at the
Yes.
epicenter of where things are happening, all of us. So
Yes.
it's quite right
Yes,
to
yes.
say something.
Yes. I mean, we should have the courage to say what we want to say and go ahead and say it. How does it matter? And not care whether they listen to it or not. We will learn and reach a point when they will listen to us and they will follow us. That's where, as Ashutosh says, that the consciousness, the internal development of us and the people have to be there. And we do that by doing all these things. These exercises help us develop ourselves also. I mean, a motley group of 10 people talking of peace on Asia and talking of telling Putin stop war and all that may look like a poor joke, but then we have the courage to do that.
But if we come out with ideas, it's fantastic. If we ask for, we call for ministries of peace, because
Yes.
the people needs to be taught and needs to be aware, needs to be created. Since we cannot trust the politicians, we have to trust the new generations.
Yes.
And the function of that ministry will be to create awareness, to form, to teach, to prepare. I mean, it's quite innovative and realistic.
Yes. We can say that every school, college, university should have a subject called peace.
That's it.
Why not? And from a country of Gandhi, from a country of Buddha, what else can we say? This is what we should say. Except for the stupid politicians who are trying to make India into an arms exporter now. Imagine. Such a horrible diversion.
Asia shows the way to peace. That is one suggestion.
Can you write it in the chat? Whatever ideas keep coming, we can write it in the chat.
Very nice.
I have.
Oh, Asia shows the way to peace.
Yeah, it's already in the chat.
Yeah.
So, my suggestion, today before 12 o'clock, please, you find out a good name and put it in our WhatsApp. WH
It's a very good idea. And then we finalize it. Okay.
Finally.
Done. I'm
Before
with you.
Today, 12 p.m. Before 12 p.m., your suggestion, please put it in the WhatsApp group of WHF, a suitable striking name.
And we can all choose and express our preference.
Suitable title for what, Lakshmanji?
A title for the event of 3rd April.
Okay.
At 12 p.m. India time.
India time.
Yeah, Antonio will stretch it by many hours otherwise.
Can come with lots of ideas, but I like the ones that have been proposed already. No? So it's really good. No?
I will put this whole chat in our group and the recording also, of course. Okay. So I will open the Google Doc and share with all of you, where we can start writing more things about the framework. And I will make a draft invitation with the room name, etc. tonight and share with all of you. And once we have this name and we have a few more things that Ashutosh is finalizing, let's try that by tomorrow evening we have the first broad invitation, which will say that there will be an event with this name on 3rd of April at this time on this Zoom account, register so and so. More details follow.
So there you can just say those who want to register will be sent the link. Otherwise, you will go crazy.
Yes. We will.
If I don't respond, then you don't need to give me the
I agree.
link.
So we will not give the room name. We will send invitation only to those who are interested. Yes. I agree with that.
Because if you have a limitation of 300, inshallah, we'll exceed 300.
Yes.
But if you have a limitation, then.
Yes, very right.
Perfect.
Anyway, if we increase 300, we can ask our friends for an account of 1,000 for a day. Not a problem.
Very nice working together, because this has been quite productive and interesting. And I thank you a lot. and we remain in touch.
Before we close, I propose a 1 minute asking ceremony.
Okay.
Let us connect with ourselves and ask for the success of what we are trying to achieve. So it is very simple. Please close your eyes. Keep one hand on your heart. Dr. Tamboli, the heart is not there. It is in the center. Center. Anyway, and we press it slightly and we breathe with our mouth, deep breathing with our mouth, and imagine that the air goes to your heart. Breathe deeply from your mouth, gulps of air, and take it to your heart. Breathe deeply from your mouth. Imagine the air going to your heart and feel it in the heart with your hand. Then with all your strength, all your faith, ask for the best for yourself and your loved ones. Keep breathing deeply from your mouth and ask. Let us ask together that our humble aim of peace across Asia starts snowballing towards millions of people in all countries of Asia in the coming months. And people start experiencing peace within themselves and around themselves. Try to imagine this aim being fulfilled. When you have completed this brief exercise, come back to this time and space with us. Thank you. Peace, force, and joy to all of us.
Peace over you.
Force and joy to
Peace,
all.
To
force,
everyone.
and joy to all.
Peace,
Yes,
Force and
force,
joy to all.
and joy.
Peace,
everyone.
force, and joy to all.
Well, mm.
Thank you.
And also, we formed a coordination team with today's participants for the event.
Yes.
Next Sunday we will meet again for finalizing the event.
Yes.
The
yes.
same with the same link, same time. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you, all of you.
Thank you, Lakshmanan, for those remarks.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for participating and launching this very interesting process. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.